So that's the state of play for Britain at the moment, isn't it, VTubers? Yes, that bloody, what's his name, can't think what his name was, so memorial that I can't really remember his name. Paul Summit, is it? I don't know what his bloody name is. MP. Caught playing with himself in the Houses of Parliament. Yes, he was. Watching bloody pornography. Porno he was watching, right in the middle of, well, they were having a debate about, well, they were probably having a mass debate, weren't they, viewers? Ding dong. Do you get me? Well, he was anyway, wasn't he? Yes. But it did sort of strike me because I thought to myself, well, there you go, Gert. Don't you think that there's literally zero standards anywhere in public life nowadays? Yes, really, it does seem to me, because the amount of people every week out of every profession that seem to be going to jail or being sent to court or actually getting off things, getting found guilty but getting really light sentences like a fine or something for interfering with children or troubling children or generally being deviants. And then you get, and these people are like in the police or in social services or civil service or the sort of professions like judges and lawyers and people like that, or working with children, those sort of people. And every week there's a new story, a new thing to be absolutely, well, to have your gasping and flabbered every bloody week, VTubers. And I thought to myself, it's like a bleeding cesspit, isn't it? It's like a bleeding cesspit. And then you've got them people in the Houses of Parliament, they've got 50 of them, or over 50 of them, that are up for sexual offences, about harassing people and being a nuisance. Then you've got him sat there, he was watching porno. Only on 2 occasions, mind you, VTubers, because apparently what happened was it was just a terrible misunderstanding from his point of view, apparently, because, well, he was Googling tractors and it came up with porn. It did. So, well, there you go. Well, I mean, we've all heard the excuses before, haven't we, VTubers, so let's just park that up. Anyway, so park his tractor up, in other words, yes. So, he was trying to park something up in bleeding House of Parliament, wasn't he, VTubers? Yes, he was. I know what he was going to bloody park up if he hadn't been caught. Anyway, so there he was, watching porno in the House of Parliament, and one thing and another, and you got 50 of them up on sex charges. You got a load of them that are having parties and being duplicitous. You had the chief advisor, that Dominic comings and goings. He admitted, I don't know why he used it as an excuse to get out. He used it. Well, it's just like, you couldn't make it up. Oh, what were you doing out breaking lockdown? Dominic Cummings, the one that actually invented all this crap with all your other little minions. Oh, I was driving up the motorway to test my eyes because I couldn't see. And as I've said before, and I think we're here again, aren't we, VTubers? How is it that these people just like, oh, right, you were just driving on the motorway when you couldn't see them, Dominic? Oh, that's totally okay. Yes, don't say anything. And that's what it's like with them lot. He's found playing with himself or whatever, watching your porno in your House of Parliament. He's resigned, that's fine, that's okay. You've got 50 people in the House of Parliament that are up for, well, sexual offences and deviant behaviour and one thing and another. Absolutely fine. Parties going on all over the place when most people couldn't mourn their loved ones, couldn't say goodbye to people that were dying in hospital, children that couldn't go to school, other children that were being beaten and tortured to death, children that were on the at-risk and vulnerable register in the whole of the UK, who were just turned over and abandoned to their abusers with absolutely no recourse to anybody. He could get the army out to shoot an imaginary bloody disease on the actually abandoned and locked down streets of London, but he couldn't send the army round to chap on people's doors and say, here, listen up, we want to have a look at your kids because they're on the at-risk register. And all the time these people were having parties up there, weren't they, in your blimmin' Downing Street. Party here and a party there. Loads of them have been fined for partying. Fine, they should be in bloody jail with Boris Becker. That's where they should be, VTubers. Yes, they bloody well should. There's people out here on the streets that are fined £10,000 this, that and the other, one thing or another, just for opening their business. Like gyms that open the business because men need an outlet somewhere. They can't stay in all day, every bloody day. They weren't allowed to go to work and they shut the bloody gyms down. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But how bad was this thing that we were being told that all our civil and human liberties were taken away from us? How bad was it, really, when all this could be happening? They were all having parties all over the gaff. And another thing, how many of them up there, because this is a story that I've actually brought up before, VTubers, the drugs that's being used up in the House of Parliament, that came out before Christmas and was actually squashed by, well, the re-emergence of Partygate again. How many people, when they went round and did tops of the toilet VU2 they take a special swab and they swab all the toilets in the morning, go back a few hours later, and they all had traces of drugs on them. But the media just, well, it came up for about a day and then they forgot about that. So what we're supposed to assume here, VU2 is a load of sex pests and druggies, criminals, ne'er-do-wells, and, to be quite frank, perverts are sat in the House of Parliament. Well, that's basically it. And then you got that Mr. Blobby Boris trying to, well, if he's not going to have a bloody nuclear war, he's not going to be a happy man, because he thinks he's bloody Churchill, doesn't he? Churchill, my fat arse, bloody load of pervs.